Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, Gord your hurting hippie. Welcome to the changes. We didn't know were coming. Yeah, just something I thought of actually just only a few minutes ago. I usually spend my mornings trying to figure out what's next. I used to have a list because you guys used to request certain videos, certain topics that you want to hear me talk about, and I would line those up. And I had video subjects for weeks, but I keep asking. And once in a while, you turn around and say, hey, Gord, how about this? But you can only use a certain source so many times. That's on me, not on you. How y'all doing? Happy hump day. I had an absolutely insane day yesterday. Calgary was being Calgary. And for once, I kind of got it on film. I'll set it up for you, then I'll throw it over to you. First of all, I went for a walk because it was a beautiful day. It was maybe +1 or 2. I don't remember. You'll have to watch and see. But it felt beautifully warm and just this pocket of moisture sitting over us that I needed to go to the river and see how spring is slowly changing things. And I've got a beautiful montage coming up. But watching that montage, as it gets a little bit more gray, a little bit more monochrome towards the end, that's just simply the weather starting to shift. And I even give a little, and I had no idea, a little foreshadowing when I walk. I show you the clouds and I say something to the regards of, it does feel a little like it might snow, but, and well, I don't want to ruin the surprise. So why don't we go to that right away and come back and we'll talk more and, of course, little known facts later on. But let's first throw it to yesterday. A bit of a talk, a bit of a montage, and a bit of a surprise. And then back to this old mug. I told y'all today was going to be a good day. It is 0 or 1 degree, but I'll be honest, it feels like 4 or 5. I've never had that before. It feels really, really nice. Clouds are a little dark. Snow could be on the edge of this, but it really feels nice. And it's quiet as usual, so I'm going to the river. I haven't had a good long walk in a week and a half, so off I am to the river. And yes, you will come with me, either by me talking while I'm walking through it or by some kind of montage. But stay tuned because here it comes. Peace. And later that day, Calgary got drunk again. Spring schmring. Peace. That was a beautiful ending to a montage. And then I see that snow coming down yesterday, and it came down hard. We probably have a couple of inches, and it's all going to go away today. What's that, you say? Yeah, currently, it's not very cold. It's going to +2 or 3 today, my friends. +2 or 3, and I thought I'd show you just a little more. Look at the week. You know, +8 tomorrow, and then we start going down again. 2, -4, -4, and then back up again. But friends, this isn't because of a virus. This isn't because of global warming. This is just living in Calgary. Our weather changes sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm talking different seasons. So, pitter patter, let's get at her. What are you doing to get through all this? What are the strange things that have come out of this that you didn't expect? You know, one thing I didn't expect was I'm eating healthier. I am eating so much healthier. There's an inborn fear of just going to a local store. It used to be, I live near like a 5-minute walk from a couple of good places, one convenience store and one little local market that are absolutely wonderful for getting snacks and for as a destination for something to do. So I often went and got snacks. Now with this going on, I've gone once in 2 weeks to the convenience store, to the 7-Eleven, once. And I took you guys with me. That was just a few days ago to get lighters because, I mean, you know, my medicine, you need to light it. And I wasn't going to get groceries and get a lighter with it when I don't need the groceries yet. So I've gotten healthier. I thought I would lose weight. I really did. I thought I would lose weight because no chips, no junk food. I'm eating well. When I snack at night, I'm snacking on better food that I find in my pantry, not in the 7-Eleven. But as I shared with y'all yesterday, instead of walking 6,000 to 10,000 steps a day, some days I'm only at a couple hundred. Some days I go nowhere. Some days I just walk circles around my block. And I'm not giving it any vim or vigor. And I'm not gaining weight, but I'm not losing. And I kind of wanted to lose a bit more. We're only a few weeks in. I'll keep an eye on it. And I do think I need to walk a lot more. A lot more. I knew I would miss my son. That's not an unusual change. But I didn't know when this first was happening. I thought, well, you know, things won't change much for me because I'm already somebody who's homebound. And maybe physically they haven't changed a lot, but mentally they have. My whole day, my OCD's out the window. My structure to my days has disappeared. I don't know what Pasha's doing from moment to moment, but neither does he. This is his first week of distance learning, of learning online. And he has no real schedule that I can abide to let him be while he's working. So, and as well, I put myself I took the self-test for COVID because I had some symptoms. The end of the test said that I had to self-isolate for 10 to 14 days. I'm on day 10. Now, I could have read that and said, no, I'm not going to do it because none of this is mandatory. And as well, my symptoms are very, very much so fibromyalgic, and they've been around for a long time. But the problem with fibromyalgia is it's cyclical. So, I have an issue with inflammation in my head, fibromyalgia. When it hits, I get runny nose, I get blocked ears. I almost always have nose troubles. So it goes from being runny and sniffly to just being sniffly. So I have those symptoms all the time, but they were slightly different. So I had to read into it. What risk do I take to the people around me? Or do I really see? Do I have it? Did I somehow contract it? I am on day 10. I'm starting to feel pretty good that in the last 10 days, I've been to a store once, and I've gone on maybe 9 walks. And on every walk, I stay far away from people. So I think I'm pretty safe, but I'm going to give it 3 more days before I see Pasha because I want to be 100%. That's how my life has changed. Oh, and also, seriously, folks, those people who keep putting out these gloom and doom crap that, people are sure noticing what did I see? I saw somebody post that here we are, only 1 paycheck into it, and people are suffering. Shame on you, government. Shame on you, rich people. And it was like, did you pull that out of your ass, my friend? Because I don't know a single person who is suffering because of isolation. The government has stepped up and has given those who are out of work a nudge, given those who've lost work a nudge, and there's more to come. To sit and complain, I understand. We are losing our freedoms here. We don't know what our future is, and we have to put some trust in an entity called our government that most of us have said don't trust. They're there for the people, but they're there for themselves. And we are walking this fine line of gratitude and understanding of the restrictions that are put on us and fear and loathing of restrictions put on us. So there's another unusual thing that has come from this for me, is that cognitive dissonance of wanting to fight this lack of freedom, but understanding that but for my fear of government, I would 100% agree with this. So I need to just agree with it and deal with my dissonance. Friends, it's time for I have a neat one today. The Dutch Silly War. Silly mean S-C-I-L-L-Y, Sicilian. The Dutch Silly War lasted 335 years and yet had not one battle and not one death. Yes, here's the story, friends, and bear with me. Spanning from the years of 1651 to just recently 1986, the war was a byproduct of the English Civil War and the decision of the Dutch to side with the parliamentarians over the Royalists. The Royalists raided a few Dutch shipping vessels in revenge before fleeing to the Isles of Scilly. Yeah, maybe they mean Sicily. I'll have to look that up, but Scilly. But they call it the Dutch Silly, so I think it's silly. The Dutch turned up demanding reparations from the Royalists, and when they didn't pay up, they declared war. But they decided to call it a day, go home pretty sharpish, as they realized the Royalists didn't have a penny to their names. Only thing is, they never declared peace, and with the peace with the Isles, and just completely forgot that they were at war. Roughly 300 years later, historian Roy Duncan stumbled upon the footnote in Scilly about the war. He invited the Dutch ambassador for Great Britain to Scilly, where a peace treaty was negotiated and signed, bringing the war to an end after 335 years and no bloodshed. And I'm going to feel silly if Scilly really is Sicilian. And this one I found funny. I didn't know this, but many of you will remember that during a time when we were arguing with France over the Gulf War, excuse me, and the U.S. stopped calling French fries and started calling them Liberty fries. Well, this is where it came from. I didn't know. During World War II, Americans called hamburgers Liberty steaks. This was due to the fact that hamburger sounded a bit too German. Also, during World War I, sauerkraut was redubbed Liberty cabbage. So this has been going on for a long time. You know, like the word, just change it to Liberty. That's silly. But it was little known, unless some of you knew it. Friends, peace and cheers, love and harmony. We'll see you on Thursday. And remember, I almost always go live on Friday. So, peace.